Xi Jinping launches a new cultural revolution, possibly to cover up a shocking scandal. Xi Jinping and Peng Liyuan sow discord between Zhang and Liu, but Liu Yuan unveils a hidden card to strike back. Cannon fires over 10,000 people. Tesla, Apple, and Starbucks flee. Factories are shutting down everywhere. 3.7 million fight for government jobs as the homeless fill bridges. Reports of massive build quality failures surface, from a billion-dollar dam to a mall collapse. Tofu drag time bombs stun the public. A malignant case explodes in Songyuan, Jilin. Rumors claim a perpetrator rampages everywhere, slaying 9 people in succession. Local authorities of the CCP. Thank you for joining us on today's program. Every key detail you need to know can be found right here in Fox Hunt, China. Xi Jinping launches a new cultural revolution, possibly to cover up a shocking scandal. Is Xi Jinping launching a new cultural revolution to save himself from a trillion-yuan corruption scandal that allegedly involves his wife, Peng Liyuan? On December 1, 2025, the CCP's flagship journal, Chuxi, published an article personally signed by Xi Jinping, calling for a self-revolution of the party. Within hours, independent commentator Kai Shen-kun pointed out a chilling parallel. The tone and structure are virtually identical to Mao Zedong's 1966 Bombard the Headquarters big character poster, signaling that a new era cultural revolution is quietly being set in motion. This is no coincidence. According to credible overseas sources, what we are witnessing is not a routine anti-corruption campaign, but the largest political smokescreen in CCP history, and a desperate attempt to save Xi's crumbling throne. 3 explosive developments in November and early December have cornered him completely. First came a humiliating diplomatic defeat in the China-Japan crisis. In mere weeks, relations plummeted from Japanese politician Sanai Kapaichi's declaration that a Taiwan contingency is a Japan contingency to ferocious wolf warrior threats. And finally, on November 24th, the unprecedented spectacle of Xi Jinping urgently phoning Donald Trump to beg for mediation. Beijing's retreat was ignominious. And to silence the online little pinks howling, "Why didn't we fight Japan?" she needed a far bigger distraction. Second, at the precise height of that diplomatic chaos, overseas commentator Zhang Wangzhang unleashed a series of bombshells about Ma Xingru, the former party secretary of Xinjiang. The allegations are staggering. Ma controlled 3.3 trillion yuan during his 4 years in Xinjiang, personally embezzled up to 100 billion yuan, about $13 billion, and the vast sums were allegedly shared with Peng Liyuan and Li Si, secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection. Ma's wife, Rong Li, is accused of acting as Peng Liyuan's financial white glove, while she and the wives of other top leaders formed a First Ladies Alliance, snapping up real estate, land, and gas stations in Hong Kong and abroad. The scandal has already spread like wildfire across Xinjiang, Guangdong, Shanghai, and Jiangxi, toppling numerous provincial-level officials. This is no longer individual corruption. It is the collapse of an entire top-tier looting empire. Third, commentator Wang Jian simultaneously reopened the mysterious 2015 prison death of billionaire Xu Ming, claiming that just before his release, Xu was about to reclaim seized assets and was poisoned in a camera-blind prison restroom. Though the perpetrator is never named outright, the text repeatedly points to Wanda Group, the conglomerate that rose from the ashes of Xu's Dalian Shide in the 1990s. Xu's body was cremated within 48 hours with no autopsy, a single detail that sends chills through anyone familiar with the lethal intersection of money and power in China. When these 3 pieces are placed side by side, a terrifying picture emerges. Diplomatic failure demands a grander spectacle for distraction. Trillion-yuan corruption implicating the Xi family and the Politburo Standing Committee requires a colossal political campaign to bury it. And revived murder cases exposed the party's legal system as nothing more than an empty shell. The Chuxi article therefore serves as the opening salvo of Xi's new cultural revolution, sweeping party purges, mass mobilization, and the deliberate recreation of a struggle session atmosphere. all designed to conceal the detonating scandals, block counterattacks from rival factions, especially General Zhang Youxia's military bloc, and enforce loyalty through raw terror. In 2025, Xi Jinping truly stands at the edge of the political abyss, repeating the survival tactic he learned as a traumatized teenager during the original Cultural Revolution. Never resolve contradictions, simply manufacture larger ones to smother the old. The question is no longer how will Xi launch his new Cultural Revolution. It is far colder and infinitely more urgent. The Chinese Communist Party will survive a sudden and catastrophic rupture of power. Xi Jinping and Peng Liyuan sow discord between Zhang and Liu. But Liu Yuan unveils a hidden card to strike back. Will there be a change of dynasty this year? I really can't take it anymore. That single line, paired with a distorted, sobbing round face on a pitch-black background, has become the most haunting meme in China in 2025. It is no longer just a joke. It is the collective scream of hundreds of millions of people pushed to the very edge of despair. And just when the masses thought things couldn't get any worse, Beijing was rocked by a whispered story circulating at the highest levels, the now legendary table-slamming recording incident. While CMC Vice Chairman Zhang Youxia was on an official visit to Russia, Xi Jinping and Peng Liyuan quietly arranged a private dinner in Beijing with Liu Yuan, son of the late state president Liu Shaoqi, as the sole guest. Over glasses of wine, the Xi couple toasted repeatedly, playing every emotional card in the deck, praising Liu's pure red bloodline, evoking the past glory of his father, then cutting straight to the point, offering to back Liu Yuan to replace Xi as General Secretary and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, while simultaneously stoking old tensions with Zhang Youxia in a bid to seize back control of the military. They never imagined Liu Yuan had come fully prepared. The moment they laid all their cards on the table, he looked up, his voice ice cold. Chairman Zhang showed you extraordinary mercy back then. He didn't have you killed the instant he leaves the country. This is what you do? Before anyone could respond, Li Yuan reached into his pocket, pulled out a recording device, and slammed it onto the table. Don't blame me. I've recorded every word of this conversation today, so there will be no disputes later. The recruitment banquet dissolved into dead silence, and the story spread like wildfire through red aristocracy circles, landing as the heaviest blow yet to Xi Jinping's prestige. At the exact same time, chilling signals began emerging from the state media machine. Zhang Youxia vanished for 7 full days immediately after returning home, while his Russia trip was deliberately downplayed to near invisibility. On November 26, 2025, both Xinhua and the Ministry of Defense suddenly placed the two CMC vice chairmen, Zhang Youxia and Zhang Shangmin, at the very top of reports ahead of Xi Jinping himself, something unseen for over a decade. Rumors that Xi had tried to retake military power while Zhang was abroad were subtly but unmistakably refuted by the party's own mouthpieces. Observers in Beijing reached only one conclusion: Xi Jinping has been formally reduced to a Deng Xiaoping-style leader. He keeps the titles, but real power has been stripped away, with even Xi's own nephew and Peng Liyuan's protege Ma Xingru reportedly under control or secret investigation. Insiders whisper that if the current deadlock isn't broken, something no one dares to imagine between late 2025 and early 2026. And among the Red families, one sentence now circulates with a shiver: if he doesn't go, none of our families will survive. The cries of desperation from society's bottom and the blood-soaked struggle at the very top are both pointing to a prophecy written exactly 100 years ago by Zheng Xiao, the scholar who lived through the fall of the Qing and the birth of the Republic. The Qing dynasty gave birth to the Republic. The Republic gave birth to communism. Communism will give birth to co-governance. All three eras were short-lived. In 1925, he wrote plainly in his diary that the communist system will ultimately end in co-governance, power returning to a collective of elders, leaving no room for individual dictatorship. Today, every sign indicates that China has quietly entered that very era. A secret core coordination group has been formed so that every major decision by Xi now requires prior elder approval. The princelings are no longer silently getting rich, but openly restraining the top leader. And the military, Xi's last trump card, now rests firmly in the hands of the two Zongs. From the masses meme, "I can't take it anymore," to Liu Yuan's table-slamming recording, to the abnormal headlines in Xinhua, everything is broadcasting the same unmistakable signal. Xi Jinping's dream of one man, one word decides all has shattered. The age of co-governance has arrived. And the question now on the lips of 1 billion people inside and outside China is only one. The change of dynasty will truly happen this year or early next year. Canon fires over 10,000. Tesla, Apple, Starbucks flee. Factories shutting everywhere. 3.7 million fight for government jobs as homeless fill bridges. That single sentence from a laid-off worker in Guangdong has gone viral across Chinese social media this week, perfectly capturing the shock now rippling through the world's former manufacturing powerhouse. Canon's Zhongshan plant, the world's largest black-and-white laser printer factory for decades, shut down for good after 24 years, with some workers receiving severance of up to 400,000 yuan, about $56,000. Yet most say the money feels like a condolence prize for the end of an era. Canon is only the loudest closure in a November avalanche. Hanwang, Bestfield, Decathlon, and Flex all liquidated or exited entirely, while bigger names Microsoft, HP, Starbucks, Nike, Samsung, Tesla, GM, and Ford are quietly completing multi-year supply chain shifts to India, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and Mexico, with Apple already having moved 20% of its production out of China. The jobs disappearing with them were the best most workers ever had: full insurance, housing fund contributions, overtime pay, and sometimes 17-month salary a year at Tesla factories. And now those benefits are gone, with nothing to replace them. Factories across the Pearl River Delta sit surrounded by mountains of unsold inventory. Orders have dried up. Many plants can't even pay November wages. And under Guangzhou's highway overpasses, young migrant workers are already sleeping rough, 2 months before the usual pre-Lunar New Year exodus. Trains and buses leaving the industrial south are packed with exhausted workers hauling refrigerators and washing machines home to raise pigs or shrimp. With one admitting, even security guard jobs are impossible now. The labor market has turned brutal. A single, ordinary office job attracts over 100 applications daily, most requiring a master's degree. The National Civil Service exam, long the ultimate safe harbor, now rejects 99 out of 100 candidates. And for the first time ever, more people registered than actually showed up. Higher education no longer guarantees income or even an interview. Salaries, when you can get them, no longer cover rent and food in the same city. And finding that first job has become a whole family project, with parents emptying savings and relatives pulling every connection. On commercial streets, 1/3 of storefronts are already empty. Restaurants sell a full roasted chicken meal for just 10 yuan to move inventory before closing. Clothing shops that once made 3,000 yuan a day now scrape by on 200. And owners say people are scared to spend even on medicine while hanging "for transfer" signs after the 4th failed renovation in a single year. The social fallout is visible everywhere. Middle-aged unemployment has become a collective nightmare of stress, insomnia, and crushing failure, with former factory managers who once oversaw thousands now hesitating to buy a 1.5 yuan steamer basket. A bitterly ironic warning is spreading across Weibo and Douyin. Still dreaming of getting rich quick or starting your own business? Walk down any street and count the transfer signs. You'll wake up instantly. As 2025 approaches, hundreds of thousands of workers are voting with their feet, abandoning the cities, heading back to villages, and preparing for what many privately call the toughest economic year in decades. The foreign factories they once cursed for long hours and strict rules have left behind a vacuum. And Chinese workers, along with the entire consumer economy built around their paychecks, were never ready to fill it. Reports of massive build quality failures, from billion-dollar dam to mall collapse. Tofu dreg time bombs stun the public. The Yunshao Pumped Storage Power Station in Fujian, a 7.5 billion yuan, roughly $1 billion, flagship project under the 14th Five-Year Plan, was proudly marketed as a century-long masterpiece capable of surviving a once-in-200-years flood. Yet, undercover footage from the construction site has transformed national pride into a collective nightmare. Anti-slide anchor piles, the absolute lifeline of the dam, were ruthlessly shortened from 12 meters to a mere 2 to 5 meters. Rebar arrived in random lengths. A single tap with a hammer makes them wobble and shift. Each pile is required by code to be fully grouted with 4 bags of cement, but the contractor stretched 1 bag across a dozen piles, applying only a cosmetic smear around the opening to deceive inspectors. The result is a 40% drop in anti-slide capacity. On the hillside, a bright red propaganda banner still boldly declares, "Nip problems in the bud, build a century-long project," while immediately behind it lie sloppy welds, missing connection points, and defective piles as far as the eye can see. When a reporter confronted a worker with the question, "Why didn't you weld according to code?" the reply came coolly, "Welding properly is too tiring. You can only do 1 or 2 a day." What has left the public utterly speechless, however, is the complete collapse of oversight. Design, construction, and supervision are all subsidiaries of the same state-owned giant, China Power Construction Group. In effect, the fox was guarding the henhouse. Many supervisors openly accepted lavish banquets, KTV karaoke nights, and even paid female companionship provided by the contractor. The dam was for all practical purposes signed off inside private karaoke rooms. Before exposure, officials boasted the structure would stand for 200 years. Now the excuse is already scripted. Blame a once-in-200 years superflood. The moment the scandal broke, the group hastily announced a midnight investigation, only for all 3 parties to simultaneously claim ignorance and frantically shift blame onto one another. Yunshao is merely the drop that made the cup overflow. In its wake, netizens have unearthed a flood of similar disasters. A brand new Garden City knoll whose 3rd-floor ceiling collapsed just 4 days after opening, with cleaners still inside screaming, "Ay-yo!" Renovation work at Hangzhou East Railway Station where joints are cracking so badly, someone joked, "Even my gun broke." A Southern Village sports square whose running track is bisected by a railing flanked by trees on both sides. A barrier for people or for foliage. And Xi'an's infamous concrete tree protection planters that became an instant national meme for imprisoning the very trees they were meant to save. Against this backdrop, the Red Flag Canal, hand-dug by tens of thousands of farmers in the 1960s and 70s under the harshest conditions imaginable, still stands rock solid after more than half a century without a single leak. Netizens, hearts heavy with sorrow and anger, keep asking the same painful question. Same Chinese people, same kind of water infrastructure. Why could they achieve immortality back then, while today the gap feels like heaven and earth? One comment now racing across the internet captures the fury perfectly. 5 billion yuan of taxpayers' money traded for a mountain of tofu dregs. When flood season arrives, who will answer for our lives? Weibo, Douyin, and Bilibili are ablaze with outrage. Millions are demanding an independent investigation and punishment without mercy. And one chilling question lingers in the freezing winter air. How many more tofu dreg time bombs are silently ticking above the heads of ordinary citizens waiting for the next rainstorm to detonate? Malignant case explodes in Songwan, Jilin. Rumors claim perpetrator rampages everywhere, slaying 9 people in succession. Local authorities of the Chinese Communist Party in Jilin province recently issued a notice stating that a serious criminal incident had occurred in Songyuan City. According to widely circulating online information, after committing robbery and injuring civilians, the suspect fled and continued to carry out random killings, plunging many areas of Songyan and the neighboring Baicheng city into deep anxiety. Amid this tense atmosphere on December 6, 2025, a cooperative investigation notice reportedly issued the same day by the Public Security Bureau of Tongyu County in Baicheng also spread across social media. The notice stated that an especially serious criminal case had taken place in Chongling County, Songman, and that the suspect, surnamed Yao, male, 34 years old, was currently on the run. Many netizens in Songwon even claimed that he had killed up to 9 people within a single day. As the situation escalated, videos and online reports indicated that multiple counties and cities, including Tongyu and Baichang and Shan'an in Songyuan, urgently deployed forces and set up numerous checkpoints in an effort to track down the suspect. Residential communities simultaneously issued warnings, urging locals to remain vigilant and not open their doors to strangers. Several sources reported that around 7 a.m. on December 2nd, the suspect killed another person in the Longhai Sinchang residential area of Tongyu County. Meanwhile, other reports asserted that according to police information, he has escaped to Chan'an County. Furthermore, on the same day, a roughly 10-minute video appeared online showing the suspect making a video call to a friend while on the run. In the video, he reassured his friend that he was still safe and revealed that he was carrying 2 or 3 knives. He declared that this would be his final contact with anyone, after which he would turn off his phone and contact no one. He confidently added that the police won't be able to find me within 5 days, and that if I really want to hide, they won't find me within 1 or 2 months. However, alongside these conflicting reports, an unverified claim also surfaced, stating that the suspect had already been captured in farmland in Daozi Township, Qian'an County. The accuracy of this information remains uncertain, and many netizens suspect that it may simply be a narrative pushed by authorities to stabilize public sentiment. As of now, Chinese Communist Party authorities have yet to release any official announcement regarding the case. In recent years, amid the continued downturn of China's economy, social revenge incidents of taking one's life, violent crime, and random killings have steadily increased. Faced with this wave of social instability, Chinese authorities have intensified their efforts to control and suppress related information. Let us know your thoughts. Leave a comment below. If you found value in this episode, please share it with others. Your encouragement drives us to keep bringing you thoughtful analysis. Don't forget to click like and subscribe for more insightful episodes from Fox Hunt China.